Right now, millions of people are working harder than ever, yet still falling behind financially. Bills are rising, money feels tighter, and the future looks uncertain, even for those doing everything right. What if the real problem isn't the economy, your job, or how much you make, but the financial mistakes the Bible has been warning about all along? Most people unknowingly follow the world's money system, chasing quick success while ignoring God's timeless principles for wealth, business, and prosperity. These hidden mistakes quietly block growth and keep families stuck in financial stress year after year. If you like our content, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Today you'll discover the 7 financial mistakes God doesn't want you making in 2026, and how His wisdom can completely change the way you make money and build your future. Following the world's money system. Instead of God's financial principles, many people today are exhausted from chasing money the same way the world teaches them. Work harder, hustle more, climb the corporate ladder, and somehow everything will work out. But what they often discover is that even with promotions, side hustles, and long hours in a 9-to-5 job, peace never comes. Inflation keeps rising. Housing gets more expensive and debt grows faster than income. The Bible already warned that the world system is unstable. Proverbs 14:12 reminds us there is a way that seems right to man, but its end leads to destruction. God's financial wisdom was never designed to mirror a broken economy. The world's philosophy usually swings between two extremes. On one side, people obsess over make money at any cost, sacrificing family, health, and faith just to hit financial goals. On the other side, some believers reject wealth completely, thinking that having money automatically makes someone ungodly. Yet Scripture shows balance. In 1 Timothy 6, Paul warns against loving money, but he also teaches wealthy believers to use their resources wisely and generously. God never condemned prosperity. He corrected obsession and pride. Wealth in God's hands becomes a tool, not a trap. In today's American economy, this mistake shows up when people blindly follow financial trends without wisdom. They jump into risky investments because social media promises quick riches. They chase crypto hype, meme stocks, or flashy business schemes hoping to get rich overnight. Meanwhile, God's principles focus on patience, stewardship, and steady growth. Ecclesiastes 5:10 already said, "Whoever loves money will never be satisfied." The world sells shortcuts, but God builds foundations. That difference determines who thrives long-term. A biblical mindset sees money as something to manage, multiply, and use for purpose, not something to worship or fear. This connects perfectly with modern investing concepts like compound interest and long-term growth. Instead of gambling savings, wise believers might invest consistently into broad ETFs like the S&P 500, strong companies like Apple, Microsoft, or dividend-paying stocks that grow steadily over time. This reflects Proverbs 13:11, which teaches that wealth, built little by little, increases. God's system rewards discipline, not desperation. The world system also pushes endless consumption. New cars, bigger homes, expensive lifestyles funded by credit cards and loans become normal. But God's wisdom encourages living within means and planning intentionally. In today's terms, that means budgeting, avoiding high-interest debt, building emergency funds, and investing instead of overspending. Jesus himself said in Luke 14:28 that a wise person counts the cost before building. That principle applies just as much to modern finances as it did 2,000 years ago. When someone shifts from the world's money mindset to God's financial principles, everything starts changing. Stress decreases, clarity increases, and long-term progress becomes possible. They stop chasing every trend and start building with wisdom. Yet mindset alone is not enough, because even with the right perspective, many people still block God's financial flow in another major area. And that leads directly into the next mistake most believers make without even realizing it: loving money more than purpose, when wealth becomes the goal, not a tool. In today's culture, everything pushes people to believe that more money will automatically fix their problems. Social media constantly shows luxury cars, exotic vacations, young entrepreneurs claiming they became rich overnight, and influencers selling the dream of effortless business success. Many people wake up every day focused only on how to make money, how to earn more, and how to level up financially. Yet deep inside, anxiety keeps growing. The Bible already revealed why this happens. Matthew 6:24 says, "No one can serve both God and money." When wealth becomes the master instead of a servant, peace slowly disappears. This mistake doesn't always look like greed on the surface. Sometimes it looks like overworking, neglecting family, burning out, or constantly stressing about income. People chase promotions over time and multiple side hustles thinking financial freedom will come if they just push harder. But even when income rises, lifestyle usually rises faster. Inflation in the American economy makes this even worse. Groceries cost more, rent increases, insurance skyrockets, so people run faster on the treadmill but never get ahead. God's system was never about endless chasing, it was about alignment and wisdom. The Bible shows many wealthy people who walked closely with God. Abraham owned massive herds and land. Joseph managed Egypt's entire economy during famine. Solomon was one of the richest men in history, yet their wealth never replaced their purpose. Proverbs 10:22 says the blessing of the Lord makes one rich and adds no sorrow with it. That verse reveals something powerful. When God is the source, prosperity comes without destroying peace, relationships, or faith. The sorrow comes when money becomes the goal itself. In modern terms, this means money should support life and purpose, not consume it. A business should serve people and create value, not become an idol. Investments should grow steadily to provide security and generosity, not fuel obsession. For example, building passive income through dividend stocks, rental properties, or long-term ETFs allows people to spend more time with family, serve in ministry, or start meaningful projects. That reflects God's design. Money working for you instead of you being enslaved by chasing it nonstop. Many people today fall into the trap of comparing themselves constantly. They see others buying homes, launching online businesses, or posting investment wins, and suddenly pressure rises. They rush into financial decisions without prayer or wisdom. The Bible warns against this mindset. Galatians 6:4 teaches each person to test their own work, not compare with others. God's financial journey is personal. What works for one person may destroy another. Following purpose keeps decisions grounded and peaceful. When money stays in its proper place, it becomes a powerful tool for good. To build businesses that bless others, to invest wisely, to support ministries, and to help those in need. But when wealth becomes the ultimate goal, it quietly takes God's place in the heart, and that's when financial stress multiplies instead of shrinking. Yet even when someone understands this, many still struggle because another critical principle is missing, one that unlocks flow and multiplication in God's system. And that brings us straight into the next mistake: living without generosity and blocking God's flow of provision. Many people today live in constant fear when it comes to money. With inflation rising across the American economy, layoffs in big tech companies, and uncertainty in the markets, people hold tightly to every dollar. They save, they stress, and they worry about tomorrow. Yet fear slowly shuts down generosity. The Bible shows that when fear controls financial decisions, provision becomes limited. God never designed money to be trapped by anxiety, but to flow through wisdom and faith. The world teaches people to protect everything at all costs, build bigger savings, hoard resources, and trust in numbers on a screen. But God's system works differently. In 2 Corinthians 9, Paul explains that whoever sows generously will reap generously. This is not magic. It is a spiritual principle connected to trust and obedience. Generosity opens the door for God to move financially. When people refuse to release, they unknowingly block increase. In modern life, generosity doesn't only mean giving in church. It can mean helping a struggling neighbor with groceries, supporting a friend whose car broke down, or investing into ministries that change lives. It can also mean supporting ethical businesses, small entrepreneurs, and community projects. God uses generosity to create impact in the real world. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper, and whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Even in investing, this principle can be seen in a different way. People who reinvest dividends instead of constantly pulling profits allow growth to compound over time. The same happens spiritually with generosity. When people consistently give, they create momentum in God's financial system. Just like compound interest builds wealth slowly, faithful generosity builds provision and opportunity over time. Many people think generosity will leave them with less, especially during economic downturns. But God promises the opposite. He says He provides seed to the sower and bread for food. That means God meets needs while also providing resources to keep giving. This balance creates what the Bible calls true prosperity, having enough for life and enough to bless others. When generosity becomes a lifestyle, fear slowly loses control. People stop obsessing over money and start trusting God's provision. Yet generosity alone is not enough to create lasting financial freedom. Without wisdom and discipline, increase can disappear quickly. That leads straight into another major mistake that keeps many believers stuck financially: poor stewardship, spending without wisdom, planning, or discipline. Many people pray for financial breakthrough but ignore the daily habits that control their money. In today's culture of instant gratification, it's easy to spend with one click using credit cards, Apple Pay, and online shopping apps. Ads constantly push people to upgrade phones, buy luxury items, and live beyond their means. Yet God's word consistently emphasizes wisdom and planning. Luke 14:28 teaches that a wise person counts the cost before building. Financial freedom always begins with intentional stewardship. Poor stewardship often looks harmless at first. Small impulse purchases, eating out too often, upgrading cars too quickly, or carrying high-interest debt slowly drain resources. Over time, these habits create stress and financial pressure. In the modern American economy, where interest rates are high and inflation eats away at income, bad spending habits become even more dangerous. Proverbs 21:20 says, "Wise people save for the future, while fools spend whatever they get." That verse fits perfectly with today's financial reality. The Bible's parable of the talents in Matthew 25 shows how God expects his people to manage what he gives them. The servants who invested wisely saw growth and were entrusted with more. The one who did nothing lost everything. This principle applies directly to modern money management. Budgeting, tracking expenses, and planning investments are not unspiritual. They are biblical stewardship in action. In practical terms, good stewardship today might mean creating a monthly budget, paying down high-interest credit card debt first, and building an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. It may also include investing regularly into retirement accounts like 401(k)s or IRAs, and putting money into diversified ETFs or solid companies with long-term growth. These actions reflect discipline and wisdom, not fear. Many people believe that making more money will fix their financial problems, but without stewardship, higher income often leads to higher spending. Someone earning $40,000 may struggle, and when they start earning $100,000, the struggles simply scale up. Bigger homes, nicer cars, and more subscriptions replace old expenses. God's system requires habits to change before increase becomes a blessing instead of a burden. When believers begin practicing stewardship consistently, clarity replaces chaos. Bills get paid on time, savings grow, and stress slowly fades. Money becomes a tool instead of a constant worry. Yet even strong stewardship and generosity can fail if someone constantly chases shortcuts and quick wins. And that brings us directly to another common financial mistake many people make today: chasing quick money instead of building wealth. God's way. In today's digital world, people are constantly promised fast ways to make money. Social media is filled with ads about overnight success, crypto pumps, day trading gurus, and online businesses claiming to generate thousands in weeks. Many people jump from opportunity to opportunity, hoping to strike it rich quickly. Yet the Bible consistently warns against rushed wealth. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but wealth gathered little by little will grow." The modern economy makes this temptation even stronger. Rising living costs push people to look for fast solutions. Instead of building stable income streams, they chase trends. One month it's a new coin, the next it's flipping NFTs, then some high-risk stock tip. While a few may get lucky, most end up losing money. God's system is designed around patience, consistency, and long-term growth, not gambling on hype. Biblical wisdom aligns closely with proven financial principles today. Long-term investing in diversified portfolios, steady contributions, and compound growth has historically built wealth for millions. For example, regularly investing into ETFs that track the broader market, along with strong companies that innovate and generate profits, mirrors the biblical idea of steady planting and harvesting. Ecclesiastes 11:2 encourages spreading investments rather than risking everything on one venture. Building wealth. God's way also includes creating sustainable businesses. Instead of searching for quick profits, wise entrepreneurs focus on solving real problems and serving people well. Businesses that provide consistent value, whether online services, local shops, consulting, or digital products, tend to grow steadily over time. This reflects Proverbs 22:29, which teaches that skillful and diligent workers will stand before kings, not remain stuck. Many people become discouraged because slow progress feels boring. They want dramatic breakthroughs instead of small wins. But just like compound interest grows quietly, God's financial principles often work beneath the surface. Month by month, savings grow. Investments increase, businesses expand. These small steps eventually create massive results, even though it doesn't feel exciting in the beginning. When someone stops chasing shortcuts and commits to God's steady system, stability replaces stress. They stop reacting emotionally to every market move and start building real wealth. However, even when following wise strategies, many people still struggle because they quit too soon. That final mistake is what separates those who succeed financially from those who stay stuck, being inconsistent and giving up before the harvest comes. One of the biggest reasons people never experience financial breakthrough is inconsistency. Many start strong with budgeting, investing, giving generously, and learning about money, but slowly drift back into old habits. When results don't appear quickly, discouragement sets in. In today's fast-paced world, people expect instant success, yet God's system is built on faithfulness over time. Galatians 6:9 reminds believers not to grow weary in doing good, because at the proper time they will reap a harvest if they do not give up. The modern financial world actually proves this principle. Those who consistently invest every month, regardless of market ups and downs, almost always outperform those who jump in and out trying to time the market. Compound interest rewards patience. The same happens with businesses that grow steadily instead of chasing viral success. Small daily actions repeated over years create massive results. God designed both spiritual growth and financial growth to operate through consistency. Many people quit when things feel slow or difficult. They budget for a few months, then overspend again. They invest for a short time, then pull out during market drops. They give generously once or twice, then stop when fear returns. But biblical prosperity is built through long-term obedience. Luke 16:10 teaches that whoever is faithful with little will be faithful with much. Faithfulness in small habits prepares the way for bigger blessings. In real life, this might look like sticking to a simple financial plan even when it feels boring, continuing to pay down debt steadily, investing consistently into retirement accounts and diversified portfolios, running a business with integrity even when profits are slow in the beginning. These choices don't feel exciting, but they build strong financial foundations that last. The American economy will always have cycles. There will be recessions, inflation spikes, market crashes, and recoveries. Those who stay disciplined through every season usually come out stronger. Those who panic and quit often fall behind. God's wisdom prepares believers not just for good times, but for hard seasons as well. Consistency keeps progress moving no matter what happens around them. When someone combines the right mindset, generosity, stewardship, patience, and consistency, financial growth becomes almost inevitable. God's principles work together like a powerful system. Each one strengthens the other. And when all are applied faithfully, transformation follows. That's why understanding how these principles come together from the very beginning is so important. Now, you've seen how God's financial principles are not outdated ideas from the past, but a powerful system that still works in today's economy. When you align your mindset, generosity, stewardship, patience, and consistency with biblical wisdom, everything begins to shift. Money stops controlling your life, stress starts to fade, and real progress finally becomes possible. These principles are simple, but they are not easy. And that's why so few people experience true financial freedom. The real question is this: will you apply what you've learned, or will you go back to the same habits that keep you stuck? Are you willing to change the way you handle money, the way you run your business, and the way you make financial decisions? Imagine where you could be 1 year from now if you stayed faithful to God's system instead of chasing quick fixes. Think about it. What small change can you start making today that will move you closer to the life God wants for you? Is it budgeting wisely, investing consistently, giving generously, or stepping into a new business opportunity with wisdom? Breakthrough doesn't happen in one moment. It's built through daily obedience. Write in the comments, "I trust God to grow my money and my business," and watch how this powerful declaration begins to shift the course of your business and your finances from this day forward. If this message touched your heart in any way, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Your support helps us continue sharing biblical wisdom that transforms lives. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can keep learning how to build wealth God's way.